Rock of Ages cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee. This is one of the hymns featured on Roger Jean's debut album. You may know him from his live worship sessions on Facebook, his thought-provoking statuses, or had the opportunity to experience praise and worship under his leadership. He's releasing his first album, Hymns That Glorify Him. Roger Jean, it's great to have you. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So you are coming out with your very first album, Hymns That Glorify Him.
Yes.
What inspired you to come out with this album?
Well, I heard the Lord say it's time. It's time for you to record. And immediately I jumped on it.
The one-man band said it took 2 months to compose the album, which he said was ordained by God. The short process surprised them. For individuals that are going to listen to your album, what do you want them to hear? What do you want them to feel? What's your message? Why this album?
Well, the purpose of this album is to restore the appreciation of hymns. With the rise of praise and worship songs, that's good, but the scripture says to admonish one another in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. So you can't do one without the other. And the great thing about hymns, apart from praise and worship songs, they trigger the emotional part of you as you praise. But
Right.
hymns, it gets you to think and really focus on why you do what you do, why you live.
Absolutely. So would you say who is this album catering to? Are you focusing on the elderlies? Are you incorporating the young people into this album? Because I hear hymns, and I'm sure a young person will hear hymns, and they're like, oh yeah, it's him. But they're like, if it's a Ty Tribbett now, they're like, oh my gosh, it's Ty Tribbett. So who are you catering to, and what do you expect people, especially young people, what do you want them to get from this album?
Well, for the young people, the good thing about this album is the genres. They have, I go from a majestic feel to a churchy feel to even a jazzy feel, which would appeal to the young people as well. And when they hear it, they can say, wow, you can do this in hymns? Wow. And this would just, and plus, I'm not doing it on a pipe organ, I'm doing it on a Hammond organ. So most Pentecostal Baptist musicians can relate to that instrument. I think the older generation would love it. My passion is towards the seniors. Even when I was putting this album together, I think about the saints of old. I think about the mothers. Here you are with this big album coming out. I'm sure you're very popular in the music industry. I follow you on Facebook and Instagram and see that you're a very popular musician. So why stay in the confinements of church and not be out there in the music industry? Is it something about being humble and staying where you're growing where you're planted? Like why not take it out there? Well, the goal is to go international. Uh, but since I'm used to home, let me start where I'm comfortable, and then God willing, He'll open the doors to go international. So that's the ultimate goal, to take this album internationally. Yes.
And what's the next step for you after you release this album? What do you want to accomplish from this? Do you want to produce another album, or?
Yes, I want to produce other albums. Starting off with this album, which is the hymns that glorify Him, and I want to do a praise and worship album. Uh, Venture off into different genres and different styles, and even push different groups as well, produce different groups and singers.
That would be great. Fulfilling his dream, the musical genius says he is proud of his album and hopes to reach the mass with hymns. His ultimate goal is to remind the world of how important and powerful hymns are. I am Tiffany Thomas. Thanks for watching.